Have you ever wondered who were the first thinkers that dared to question the very nature of existence and reality? This curiosity, this audacious spirit of inquiry, marks the dawn of Western philosophy, born in the cradle of civilization, ancient Greece. The pre-Socratic philosophers were the trailblazers, the first to step away from mythology and look towards reason and observation to explain the universe. Their names may not ring familiar, Thales, Heraclitus, Pythagoras, yet their impact resonates through centuries. They dared to ask, what is the universe made of? What causes change? Is there a single principle governing all things? Their answers, at times abstract and confounding, laid the groundwork for a philosophical tradition that would shape the world. Their audacity to question and seek answers paved the way for a revolution of thought, setting the stage for the great philosophers who would follow. Now, let's journey back in time to meet some of these profound thinkers. Our first stop is in the bustling city of Athens, where we meet the enigmatic figure of Socrates. Born in the 5th century BCE, Socrates was a stonecutter by trade but a philosopher at heart. His method of questioning everything, known as the Socratic method, challenged the status quo and pushed people to think deeper about their beliefs and values. This technique is still used in modern education and discourse. Socrates' most famous quote, "I know that I know nothing," encapsulates his approach to wisdom. He understood that true wisdom comes from recognizing our own ignorance. His teachings, however, were not without controversy. Socrates was sentenced to death for corrupting the youth and impiety against the Athenian gods. Yet his influence didn't end with his death. His ideas lived on in the minds of his students, most notably Plato. Socrates may have left us, but his influence lived on in his student Plato. Plato, a student of Socrates, took the philosophical baton and ran with it, creating his own unique philosophical ideas. Born into an aristocratic Athenian family, Plato's life was marked by a deep thirst for knowledge. This led him to establish the Academy, the first institution of higher learning in the Western world, setting the stage for future educational institutions. Plato's philosophical ideas were vast and influential. His theory of forms proposed that the material world we see is not the real world but rather a shadow of the ideal, or formal, world. This theory challenged the perception of reality, pushing the boundaries of human thought. Plato also delved into political philosophy. He envisioned an ideal state governed not by the richest or the most powerful, but by the most wise and just. This idea of a philosopher king underscored his belief that knowledge and virtue should guide leadership. Plato's influence was profound, and his greatest student Aristotle would take his teachings and build upon them. Aristotle, unlike his teacher Plato, had a much more practical and comprehensive approach to philosophy. Born in the small town of Stagira, Aristotle's intellectual journey led him to Athens, where he became a student of Plato. Later he established his own school, the Lyceum, where he spent most of his later years teaching, researching, and writing. Aristotle's philosophical contributions were far-reaching, spanning from metaphysics to ethics, logic to politics. He pioneered many of the concepts we now associate with these disciplines. His work in logic laid the groundwork for deductive reasoning, while his metaphysical explorations delved into the nature of reality itself. In ethics he championed the concept of eudaimonia, or the highest human good, and in politics he advocated for a balanced and just society. His influence on future philosophers is immeasurable, shaping the course of Western philosophy for centuries to come. Aristotle's impact on the world of philosophy is undeniable, setting the stage for future philosophical discourse. The ideas of these philosophers have echoed through the centuries, shaping the way we think and understand the world. Socrates, the great instigator of critical thinking, taught us the importance of questioning and the pursuit of knowledge. His Socratic method, a dialogue-based approach to uncovering truths, is still used in educational and judicial systems today. Then there's Plato, a student of Socrates, who gave us the theory of forms, asserting that reality is not what we perceive with our senses but rather the world of ideas. This idealist vision has influenced many areas, from mathematics to metaphysics, and we can't forget Aristotle, the man who dared to delve into every branch of knowledge, from biology to ethics, from politics to poetry. His comprehensive approach to philosophy laid the groundwork for the scientific method, and his ideas continue to resonate in academia and beyond. So, the next time you ponder life's big questions, remember the Greek philosophers who started it all.